Hello, and welcome back to Suspended Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 1, The Bad Batch. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see a video pop up here at the end. And basically, what this does is YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching, tries to match them as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. Up here is going to be Harley Quinn. The season finale of Harley Quinn is going to be up there. Also, you can hit the bell down below there, but it's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you when I'm going to be on live again next. So the best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com and take a look at the schedule that's up there. I put it up there every Monday or change it out every Monday. It's also on my Facebook page, and I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and I have a Patreon page as well. Oh, yeah. And speaking of Facebook, there is a Facebook group page which you guys can join, post stuff, and talk amongst yourselves. So there we go. All right. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section afterwards as well. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. All right. So what's it been? It's been a few years since episodes or season 6, I should say, of the Clone Wars appeared on. Well, it was on Cartoon Network, and then it ended up finishing up on Netflix, is what happened. So there was always a rumor that there was a season 7 out there. Season 7 had been done in the can, and they just kind of got, dumped unceremoniously by Cartoon Network. There was a lot of stuff that's going on at the time, and there was always rumors that Dave Filoni was actually going to go off and start doing live action Star Wars movies. That didn't happen, but of course he's doing the Mandalorian right now, and also he's supposed to be working on something else too, which he is going to. I believe they're going to announce that in May, or they're going to announce it during D23, whichever one. I don't know which one they're going to announce it at, but my guess is it's going to involve Ahsoka Tano. And since this is going to be the very last season, this is going to end the Clone Wars because it goes right into, of course, Revenge of the Sith. Excuse me. So we came back pretty much like nothing had stopped, quite honestly. I'd been going through and I've been looking on Disney Plus at all the previous 6 seasons of the Clone Wars and also of Rebels and all that stuff as well. Rebels, actually, I still like a little bit better than Clone Wars, even though Ahsoka Tano was introduced. Truth be told, when she was first introduced in this series, I didn't like her. A lot of people didn't like her. She grew on me, and of course, has become one of my favorite Star Wars characters now. you know, you go and look at Rebels, and there's a scene where she is fighting Darth Maul, and Darth Maul calls her a Jedi. And she even says, "I am no Jedi," and basically kicks his fucking ass, and it's just like, that's Ahsoka for you, man. You never watched Clone Wars until tonight, Pen? Okay. Yeah, you need to go through and start binging. I'm going to tell you right now, seasons 1 and 2 are going to be kind of rough because they are geared towards kids. It gets better as it goes along. Once they hit around season 5, I think, is when they start doing long story arcs. So they'll do 4 or 5 episodes in a row of the same story. You can honestly kind of pick and choose through those or fast forward through them, however you want to do it, because some of them are kind of childish in some respects, and some actually flesh out the stories. The stuff with the clone troopers, fucking awesome. That's all I'll say right now. That stuff actually works really, really well. There's actually a lot of backstory that you probably didn't understand in tonight's episode, because they had already fleshed it out. Like when they mentioned Fives and Echo, which are clone troopers that we've seen in the past, who are no longer with the entire group. Rex and Cody, we see later on, of course, in Rebels as older clones, and we know what happens to them. As a matter of fact, it's now been retconned that, even in the movies, Return of the Jedi, the old dude who is on Endor, who has a beard and has a green helmet on and looks like he's wearing an old stormtrooper chest plate and stuff like that, that has now been confirmed to be one of our clone troopers, who is aged out, of course, and has joined the Resistance. And so he is both in the animated series and the live action series. Yes, we have that all there. Dave Filoni did a wonderful job. He worked with Lucas, of course, on all of this stuff to mesh everything together. And honestly, as the old saying goes, the student surpassed the master at this point. Stanley Tweedle says, I started watching from season 3 because everyone said it got better from there. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Yes, Saw Gerrera is a hardcore uh person. I just was kind of disappointed that it was played by Forrest Whitaker in the movies. So, and they also voiced it in Rebels, the animated series. They put Forrest Whitaker in as the voice as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's really good, Pen. Honestly, there is good storylines to it. Um, I've seen them so often now that when I go through and I'm watching them, I'm like, did you guys really need to repeat the name over and over and over again like you do? That's not how you do it in normal speech. But I'm like, okay, this is geared towards kids for the most part. But I mean, there's stuff in there where you see, and I'm not kidding you, Ahsoka, kills 4 people, live people, not droids. And I'm talking head cuts. And you see the head cuts. You don't see the heads fall, of course, because the bodies fall off screen. But I was like, that's kind of, that's not a kid's show at that point. That's, some pretty hardcore shit for a animated series even. So yeah. Yes, all the Jedi Knights get some love and get to do something. So let me talk a little bit about this episode here. We get introduced to the Bad Batch, which is basically a group of clones that were experimental and have their own strengths as a result of all of this. So we have Wrecker, who is basically super strong. We have Tech, who is super smart and has tech abilities. We have Marksman, um, who of course is a marksman, and we also have Hunter, which looks strangely like the Punisher or Rambo, depending on how you want to do it. And he can actually feel electro vibrations in a planet for where something is being hidden. Yeah. So they all have their own strengths, and of course, they are the guys that get stuff done 100% of the time, but their tactics are left a little more to be desired. And so the Jedi and the clones are having problems on this one planet, and it seems like the separatists are basically knowing every move they're making. And since Rex was the one that actually comes up with all the battle plans now, they think that he thinks that maybe the droids have an algorithm to predict what he's planning out. And he also has a theory that Echo is still alive because Echo disappeared at one point and on one of the other planets. And he has a theory that has been captured and is being used for since he and Rex were the people that put together all of these battle plans. And sure enough, we find in this episode that yes, he is being held on a planet someplace far away. They get confirmation by going through with the Bad Batch, infiltrating this one outpost, this one droid outpost, and getting confirmation that he is off planet someplace. So yeah, we're gonna see more of this. We're gonna see what happened with all of that. I'm liking the new clone troopers, the new Bad Batch. Wrecker is just fucking nuts. And I do like Hunter, even though he is, Punisher kind of a ripoff, and Tech as well. Marksman, not so much at the moment, but he could grow on me. Who knows? Um, and yes, of course, we have Rex and Commander Cody. Commander Cody gets knocked out pretty early on, but and I've always wondered if Filoni named Commander Cody after the old 70s, 80s band, I guess you could say, Commander Cody. Uh, so yeah, that's one of those things. But of course, we're doing this weekly, is what's going on. Disney Plus is going to be doing an episode a week. That's how they're going to drop it. They're not dropping it all at once. And I'm okay with that, quite honestly. I like this. Yes, you can binge it. It's obviously fairly easy to binge, but you lose a lot. And going back and looking at some of the episodes, I actually was skipping a lot through a lot of the episodes as I was watching and picking and choosing because I knew where stuff was. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's actually integral to this part of the story. This is integral to this part of the story. And this actually carries over into Rebels later on. This actually carries over into The Mandalorian, even. And you just see how much rich backstory has been mined by not just Filoni, but also from Favreau for The Mandalorian. And then even J.J. Abrams has taken some stuff as well. So his, the latest Rise of Skywalker with the horse riding stormtroopers and all that stuff, that's actually Saw Gerrera's, that's his sister, Stila. I was actually looking at it and I'm like, she looks familiar. Who in the hell is she? And I'm like, she looks like the girl from Rise of Skywalker, the stormtrooper riding the horse. And I'm like, oh shit, it's Saw Gerrera's sister, who we had seen mentioned in Rebels and all this stuff. And yeah, so there's a lot of callbacks to a lot of different things that are happening now in some of the more recent episodes or movies. So that's actually what's kind of interesting about all of this. Stanley Tweedle says, when I originally tried watching it from the beginning, I gave up on it after a few episodes. Yeah, I can understand that. Yes, the universe is more than just the fucking Skywalkers. It really is. And it's more than just the Jedi. It really is. I actually went back to the Rebels to watch some of the stuff with the Bendu, you know, and that's what I kind of like about this, and that's what Filoni gets. So my main takeaway that I got after rewatching some of this stuff, that I know what the new movies 7, 8, and 9 were missing. 7, 8, and 9 were missing a simple thing, and it's called hope. That's the whole thing. Um, the original movies, even the prequels, and these animated series all had hope in them. Like, you know, even though the rebels get their ass kicked, or they lose members and all this stuff, there's always hope. At the end of Return of the Jedi, there is hope that the Republic is going to get rebuilt. In the new 7, 8, and 9, you don't get any of that. You don't have any sense of hope that even though they defeat Palpatine again, that they're going to rebuild the Republic. That pretty much everything's still fucked up as it is, and everyone's on their own, which isn't a good place to be. And that's why you're left with this feeling of, these movies suck. They don't matter to me, because there is no feeling of hope in them at all. Whereas everything else that came before it actually had hope in that, in the feeling of everything there. So yeah, the young Boba Fett in this as well. I mean, Aja Ventress, that her whole transformation in the Clone Wars was also really, really good. So Stanley Trudeau says, what do you mean, Dennis? You don't need to retcon everything in a new show? No, you don't. You don't need to retcon everything. You can work with what's there. That's right. Excuse me. Yeah, you can even use Jar Jar Binks a little bit and redeem him as well. You can redeem the Gundams and not make them as shitty as they were. So, and that's what this whole thing is all about. This is what happens when you have a good writer. You have someone who is having a far-reaching vision of where they want series to go, where they want this franchise to go, really. And that's has anyone told that to Alex Kurtzman? No. Alex Kurtzman doesn't care about that kind of shit. He just wants to put in iPhones and what is it? Ear pods and Ray-Ban sunglasses in every single fucking episode so that it looks like 2020 instead of, or actually it looks like 1980 instead of whatever the 23rd, 24th century is supposed to be. So yeah. And again, like I said, that is the main thing that's missing. That was the one thing that struck me squarely the other day, is that hope is the thing that's missing from the newer stuff. And again, this is for people, this is because the people that were involved in it didn't care about it. All they wanted was to make money off of it. JJ Abrams really, I don't think, wanted to do it after he did episode 7. He didn't want to be involved with it anymore. He wanted to wash his hands of it. But too fucking late, motherfucker. You got involved in it. You should have been doing 7, 8, and 9 and had a plan for it to begin with. Yeah. Yeah, I heard Stanley. I saw the picture too. It just looked fucking ridiculous, and made me feel so. Excuse me, made me feel so good that I never, bothered seeing anything beyond the first episode. The first episode was crap, and I heard it just got worse from there. So, yeah. So yeah, good episode all the way around. Can't wait to see what happens next episode. I want to see more of the Bad Batch. I want them to stick around. Of course, we know what horrors come later on with a certain order that comes out from the, you know, a certain Palpatine emperor to the stormtroopers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but at least we know that some of our clone troopers don't get affected by it because of what they found out. Actually, with what Fives found out. So there you go. The last Picard opening was very close to the Saw movies. Wow. Yeah, you are, Raymond. You're a bit late on that one. Sorry, man. But it is a video, so you can go on back. You can always watch it. Yeah. So I'm kind of wrapping things up. Raspberries. Crackers, cheese and crackers. Uh Sorry, it always has made me laugh that people swear like that. If you're gonna fucking swear, just fucking swear. It's, Um, where am I at here? So tomorrow is gonna be another episode of Saturday Morning Blast Off where I talk about all the genre stuff that's come out during the week and also last week since I missed it. And any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about. Sunday is still up in the air. Monday is most likely going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And of course, Tuesday is going to be Project Blue Book. Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be off. Friday, I come back around again with Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is going to be in a 6 p.m. slot time, is where that's going to be at. It's taking over Harley Quinn's spot because Harley Quinn is done at least until April. So, yeah. Yeah. That'll be good. The episode was good, but I should have researched season 6. Yeah. I did the same thing, Stanley. I actually watched a little bit of season 6, and I went back into season 5, delved into some of the clone stuff a little bit more, since I knew they're going to be a little bit more clone heavy this season. So, and yes, Raymond, you can be here for a bunch more episodes. I'm going to be doing every episode for season 7. So, it's one of my favorite animated series, and I'm kind of glad they're back for one last season. And yeah, I wouldn't want to miss it, quite honestly. When I was doing podcasts or vodcasts or whatever you want to call this thing, vlogs, I guess, for something else that I was doing in the past, I never got a chance to really do these because it was frowned upon. But fuck that. This is my station. This is what I do because I like this. And again, that's what I do is I actually follow what I like to watch. So, and talk about it. Yes, it is better than the movies. It is better than the movies, Raymond. I agree with you. Yeah. Exactly, Penn. I always was my own boss to begin with, but unfortunately, I listened to other people's opinions on things, and I really shouldn't have. So, yeah, you know. But we're not going to talk about past missteps. Those are done with. All righty. Yes, there were some good live streams. I have to agree with you. Yes, there were. There was some fun stuff, but yeah, that last year was kind of not so good. Yeah, I know, Raymond. I know a lot of people wouldn't have. So, and it was something that we had started together. Yeah. Uh, why don't you join the culture war? The culture war. Is that yogurt, Stanley Tweedle? Is that the different kind of cultures that we're talking about here? Is it probiotics versus live cultures? Yeah, I know, really. Remember, kids, if you're having yogurt, check the back of your yogurt label and make sure you have at least 5 different cultures in there. You want more, obviously, to help your gut activity to work there, but you want at least 5 cultures for that shit to actually work. Uh, man. Yes, I make myself laugh. That's all I need to do. All right. So, thank you everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about joining up, you're going to see at the very end here a video pop up here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and pops and tries to match as best as possible one of the vast videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. Up here is going to be Harley Quinn. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, make sure that if you hit the bell down below, it's a 50-50 chance of actually knowing when I'm going to be coming on. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com and take a look at the schedule up there. Thanks, Raymond. Yes, I'm getting better. Antibiotics are helping. So yeah, that's what pneumonia sucks. That's all I can say. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Are there probiotic iPads? I don't know. I'm not a Mac person or an Apple person. I work off of a Surface book is what I'm working off of. Yeah, I work off of Microsoft because, quite honestly, iPads are just fucking stupid. They have us using them at work, and they're dumb. They really are. Anyway, with that said, thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow morning. Get Linux. And I will, see you then. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having to have the Bad Batch come in to grab your ass after you've gotten lost behind enemy lines, which isn't a good thing. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a good night.